Welcome to another episode of Job Tales, the podcast that will help you find your professional path thanks to the short accounts of professionals around the world. Today's guest is Pnina, a ballet dancer. Thank you, Pnina Dukac, to be part of my podcast as a ballet dancer. It's very exciting. And I would like to know, how did you become a ballet dancer?
Wow, it's a not long story, but there are fewer reasons. First, when I was 5, my mother sent me to rhythmic classes. Like all the girls, we used to do twice a week, just rhythmic. But it's like I had a dream, I don't know, at 6 or something like this, to be a ballerina. I had an image in my head of a dancer in the opera. And then I saw the film Red Shoes with Moira Shearer. I don't know if you heard about it. And when I saw the film, it was like, wow, that's it. That's what I want to be. And yeah, it was like quite early when I was young. It's like in my head to be a dancer.
And you were 5, you said? You were around 5 years old?
Yeah, 5 I started. Then around 6, 7, I saw the film. And it's marked me so much. And I said, wow, I want to be this dancer. Even if the end of the film is quite sad, it was like, that's it. I mean, that's it.
That's so interesting. So when your mom put you on a rhythmic dance class, was that your wish to be part of that class?
I don't remember. I remember many friends. My best friend, we used to go. It was not far from home. And we went twice a week because at that time it was twice a week, rhythmic. It was ballet and rhythmic, but it was like, I loved it. I always loved dance and folk dance and dancing. But, and I think maybe the way, because she sent me, it just opened the door. I don't remember if I asked. It was like they sent up to ballet or to other activities. And most of the girls in my neighborhood, we did the rhythmic. And I started in a small school, very small school first.
So first that's cool. And then of course you had to do let's say the normal school, right? So high school, I guess.
Yes.
Elementary, high school and so forth. And then did you do in parallel some dancing classes?
Well, when I was in high school, that it was very hard. It's already when I had a scholarship in the big school, Bador Dance School in Tel Aviv. And it was really difficult for me to go to school from 7 to 3. And then directly from the high school, I went to the Tel Aviv by bus to do my ballet classes until 10 o'clock in the evening. And then when I was 15, 16, it was too much. And then I decided to do the baccalaureate, in a parallel, and I stopped to go to the high school. And then when I was 16 and a half, just before 17, my teacher pushed me to be a dancer, and I wanted to be a dancer. And we did the audition to get a place in the Bejar School in Brussels. And we flew, especially with my friend, with my mom, to the audition that took 2 days. And then we just got accepted. So at 17, I left home.
To go live in Brussels.
Yeah, because the school there, it was from 16 to 18. Then they wouldn't accept older. We had to do the school and then eventually join the Bejar company or to go somewhere else. So, yeah, it was a big decision, but it was, luckily my mother agreed because the mom of my friend, she was not so much for it, but we did it. We just went for it.
Yeah. So you lived on your own in Brussels?
Yeah, we rented an apartment, the 2 of us, my girlfriend from Israel also. Yeah. Yes, we ate at the canteen. It was not so, at that time, it was really only the rent to pay because the school was subventions. And the food at the school was not expensive. So it was not like very expensive school, like it could be the Royal Academy sometimes in London when you live there. And it was like, okay. And we were like from all over the world, students, yes.
Must have been a beautiful experience.
It was great. It was great, like people from everywhere, all languages, and we did theater and dance and all kind of dance. And it was just complete school. Yeah, very nice.
How many years?
2 years.
Okay.
2 years. It was 3 years, but I stayed there 2 years because then I wanted to go to New York. So I left and I went to New York to study. more perfectionist to perfection my technique in New York. Yeah.
Okay, so always ballet oriented.
Always. It was all my life. I mean, in one moment, maybe when I was 12, it was like, to go to art school because I love to paint and I love art. But it was like, no, it was dance more than the art school. Yeah.
So from Brussels, you went to New York, and what school was it?
It was Académie de Madame Darvas. She's very known in New York. She's Hungarian, a choreographer. And she moved to New York, I think, in the 60s. And she invented her own technique, how to teach to become a ballet dancer. And she had a private school, a small school also on Broadway, very small studio. And she actually, her students, Nancy, I forgot the family name, she won the Prix de Lausanne in the 80s. So she was very known as training dancers, and the dancers from the ABT, American Ballet Theater, New York City Ballet, they used to come every morning to do the class with her. So excellent. I was there with her, and she's Jewish. She still alive. And we used to do a class, and then not to pay the second class, we used to sit in the office and answer to the phones and and just answer the phones. And then she would give us a free class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It was like, it's very, very special period.
You mentioned that she had a specific methodology of teaching ballet.
She wrote a book, yes.
She wrote a book. Can you tell me what was her technique?
She was based on the Russian technique, but I will not explain all the difference now between the technique, but the Russian technique is like to do pirouette, to turn on one leg, and you have to do a preparation of the weight balance. And she taught a different method that we used to do in my school in Tel Aviv or other schools, that you, like, let's say you put the balance on one leg before taking off, and at the last second you put the other leg, and then you have more power to turn. It was like, it was very different. I had to really change my way of dancing, of technique, to do her own technique.
Your mindset. Yeah, to change.
Yes, it was really difficult in the beginning, but it was her way of teaching, and maybe other things. But I remember for me, it was more the way of how to turn well, how to do many pirouettes, and how to go on point shoes with the weight, always to solicit the standing leg a lot. And that some other technique, they don't do it this way.
What did a typical day look like when you were studying?
When I was a student?
Yes.
A student, it's in Bejar, in the school in Brussels, it was like starting at 9 until 9 in the evening, because we had ballet and modern and singing, and sometimes we had Zen, sometimes we had flamenco and theater and music and rehearsals, and maybe one day off. And when I was in New York, it was because it was like private on my own, so I took like 2-3 classes a day. So maybe 2 in the morning, 1 in the evening, or vice versa. I'm doing auditions, but in New York at the time, without the green, the passport, there were many, many dancers, and it was really hard to find job. So I just did auditions. I did some performances with small schools in different towns around upstate New York, but I couldn't really find a job that time in New York. It was not possible.
Like a lot of competition, you say?
A lot of many dancers, a lot of competition. And if you had audition for a big company, I'm not talking like small projects that I did, and you don't get paid really, it's like small projects like for a few weeks or 1 month. There were like 400 or 600 dancers for 2-3 contracts. And it was like,
wow.
Yeah. And then I think it's not always when you have to be the best technically. It's always, when I did auditions, it's like, the choreographer is searching for a certain type of a dancer. So sometimes he is choosing a dancer because he likes the type, not necessarily because he's the best technician. So it's a matter of luck also.
It's a bit like also in the film industry when you're an actor.
I think so.
Yeah, it's you can be the best actor, but if it doesn't match that role,
no, that's what.
Hard.
Yeah, exactly. Because I wanted to be in the Bejar company, and I knew Bejar, and I went to do stage in France, but it never took me to the company. And then I did audition to Hamburg Opera, in Paris, and I just fit for the type he looked for.
Ah, okay.
So you see, it's like you can be the best dancer, but if it doesn't look exactly your height, your color of hair, or maybe unless you are soloist or principal, it's like this. It's you have to audition on 2 days and classes and repertoire, and it was really long. So yeah, it's matter maybe, I don't know if it's only luck. Yeah, maybe to be the right place, the right time. I think it's like this.
At what age did you start auditioning?
So the first audition was when I was 16 to get to the Bejar school, and it was like also on 2 days. We were 400 students. And then after New York, I went back to Tel Aviv. So I went back with the school I used to be in Bador. They had a company, so I didn't really need to audition. They took me immediately to dance. And then I was in the Israeli ballet. And also she knew me. She just saw me once and she took me. So I didn't really have to do audition with numbers and, hundreds of dancers. So in Israel, I got accepted very fast to the companies.
Okay.
But abroad, I had to do like, you come 100, 200, 300, and you have the number, and then you pass the first time and second time and third time. And each time you say, no, thank you, no, thank you, and unless you stay, yes.
You must be, you must build quite a bit of a skin, a thick skin, I guess.
Yeah, I think so, because I know many good dancers, or maybe good, some, not all, but some that just sometimes they let go because it was too hard. They just couldn't continue all these auditions, or sometimes even competition in the company. It's not always very nice atmosphere, I guess, like all professions, but it can be really nasty also. So some just drop it, or you just continue.
What do people who like give up ballet dancing, what do they end up doing? Is there like a trend?
So, or they get married, family, and they just stop.
Okay.
Or they learn a new profession. I have many friends, even I thought to do it before I opened my school, to like a lot go to yoga, to Pilates, something that's related. Some, if they're talented, they become choreographers.
Yeah.
But also this is very hard. Ballet teachers, or independent or not, or they just stop and or they don't work or they work. So it's very, very variant. It depends on the people.
Yeah, I bet. And so for you, how did it work? You started to do you were working for companies, and then were you working also side jobs like as you were dancing, or were you dedicating all your time into dancing?
In New York, it was the year that I really, my parents had to help me. So I didn't really need, beside doing babysitting, I didn't really have to work. But many dancers in New York, they used to come in the morning, do the class in the evening, they went to work in the restaurants, and still it's like this only now. Also now, luckily I didn't have to really to work on the side to pay my classes, but then quite fast before 19, I was already working in a company, so I got my salary.
Okay.
So I didn't have to do side work. And then after, when I was in freelance, or I left Hamburg, I was teaching a little bit in Israel, but just teaching from time to time. But I was actually always dancing for companies, or for freelance, or for my ex-husband company here in Switzerland. So I didn't really have to do other jobs.
Okay.
Like many dancers do.
Yeah, so that's good. And did you have to get a degree to become a teacher, ballet teacher, or?
With my experience, with all what I did, I mean, when you be a ballet teacher, it's because you were a dancer normally and you have a lot of experience and you like to teach, and people like you. But I know that like in London, you have a school, the Royal Ballet School, that you can not be a professional dancer, but you can just to learn to be a teacher. You do a degree in teaching, like in America also in some university you can do it. But me, it was more experience, and I was teaching in Geneva in a few schools. And when I started to open my school, they just wanted to see, when you open a school here, what I did and what I did in my past. Like in France or some places, I know that sometimes you have to pass exams. But I didn't have to pass exams. Everyone can open a school.
Oh, great.
But I had so much experience. And when I was teaching in different schools in Geneva, I realized that I like it. So that's why I decided to go for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't maybe go if I said, well, I don't like so much to teach and it's not interesting for me. But it was.
That's great. And going back to when you were a ballet dancer, what was the hardest part of being a dancer?
The hardest part is to be always, because as a dancer, it's never perfect. Even if they tell you, wow, the performance was good, you're good, it was always something to correct. You work so hard in front of the mirror all day long, and you try to perfectionist your technique and your artistic way of dancing. And the hardest is also to find when I had to do some auditions. This was hard after 30, when I got 30 and I started to do auditions, and some they didn't take you, and then you start to have a pain in your back, and then it's really depressing. Yeah, this is really hard. And when you say that, well, you have to stop dancing quite young, actually. It's not like actors or singers that they continue until the end. Dancers, like sport elite, they have to. Yeah, I think the hardest it was to convince my parents to be a dancer and to the auditions, I think. And but otherwise, it was great because it's a challenge. And when it's your passion, you don't think too much if it's hard or not hard.
Yeah, that's well said. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, it's true. It's not easy. And if you're not in the Opera of Paris and you have to stop at 40 and you get a salary until the end of your life, or a pension, or you have, I mean, if you're freelance or you're independent and so, or if you dance, and it's really hard. And you say, well, now I have to stop. What do I do now? I gave all my life to work really hard, to give up so many things, and then now find yourself, because no one is helping. I mean, no one is like, you have to really take care of yourself.
Is 40 the age, more or less, the cutoff point when you
They say the women around 35, 36, and it's true. But I know some dancers like Sylvie Guillem, she danced until 50.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's nearly 60, and she can dance. I have a friend, he's 60, he's teaching, but he looks like he's dancing like crazy, but it's very exceptional. Okay. Or like Plisetska, she was a very big ballerina in Russia. So when she was 70, she was on stage, but she just moved the arms. So they don't do techniques thing, or another Baryshnikov in New York, they do contemporary, or they do more acting. They are still on stage, but they don't do as they did before. But these are exceptional people. Not so many can do it.
Does it happen that you start a career doing something completely different? Let's say math teacher, or I don't know, a management consultant, and then you realize, I really want to do ballet. Does it happen that
you have to be maybe talented, contemporary, maybe something like theater, but it's too late. It's too late.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Is it just the body you need to?
It's the body, train. And also, of course, even if it's not, let's say, pure classical, even for modern and so. And then in companies, sometimes they take you, but sometimes they won't look at you because you're too old.
So if you want to do ballet and when you're older, it will
you can do ballet
be
for
as a
fun.
Hobby. Yeah, for fun.
A hobby, yes.
Okay.
I was teaching women, they were 70, even more than 70. They came once a week to do their ballet class, but they were not professionals.
Yeah.
But to be a dancer, no, it's not possible.
To go back to you, so when you finished your career as a ballet dancer, you started a school in Switzerland, you said.
Yes. First, I was teaching in different schools, and then for 3 years, and then I started my school. I was like going around, and then the woman that I was teaching when my son was 3, something like this, and then she closed the school, and then I said, wow, Pnina, what do you do now? So then I knew that in Versoix it was nothing big school, and it was a good region, all the private schools around, and it was nothing. So, and in Geneva there were too many schools, and then I decided to open the school in Versoix.
And when was it?
In 1999.
Oh wow!
Yeah. 22 years. Yeah, 20. It's like it's my family, and it's like my life. It's nearly half of my life. Yeah.
Yeah. How old were you when you gave up the professional ballet dancing?
Before I was doing auditions, and then when I was pregnant, it was helping me to stop, because I wanted a child, and then it helped me to do the passage because I missed the stage so much. And I didn't know, and it was really missing. And when I was pregnant, the baby, it helped me to say, okay, Pnina, now you don't dance anymore on stage. That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do women have children and then go back to ballet dancing as professionals?
Yeah, I have many friends that in the opera, they stop. If you're in a very big company and they can pay you like to stop 1 year and then you come back. But if you're independent like me, it was more hard. So after 1 month, I started to teach, not every day, but I was teaching already. And I was teaching pregnant one day before I gave birth. I was at the studio. My son was with me when he was born in the studio. So it was like, yeah.
Fantastic.
He was with me. And it depends. I know dancers, they gave birth and then they continue, but it was because it was very good conditions in the company.
Yeah, okay.
Otherwise, it's very hard.
When a company takes you, so you need to do auditions also to become part of a company, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then is it a fixed term contracts?
Normally, it's one. They sign 1 year, and then it's go automatically. But if you, let's say, it's a problem, like few girls were anorexic or one put on weight or one was not well, so then you can go out from the contract.
Okay.
Or if it's a problem, they can fire you, but normally they keep you unless it's a new director. And then if it's a new director, it can change sometimes and they let you know in advance. But normally, if everyone is happy, you can stay 20 or more years in the company.
Okay.
If it's not a good reason, they cannot fire you.
Okay. Are there any myths around the profession of a dancer, ballet dancer?
A myth, it's not a job, it's true, but it's like more a tradition because ballet, it's from the Louis XIV. The dance, it's from, everyone danced. Everyone is dancing. But the classical ballet, is it a myth? Yeah, maybe, but it's still there. It's a religion. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
It's a religion. Béjart always said, he was Buddhist, it's like a religion. You go to the studio, it's your religion. It's like, it's more like, yeah.
You're devoted. Yeah.
Yes, completely. Otherwise you cannot be a dancer.
You need to worship. It has to really be in your bones.
Of course, because now when I was teaching, and I had many girls very talented, but if they don't want to give up on few things or the parents don't agree, and if you're not completely into it, you don't do it. You don't make it. It's not possible.
What do you teach these kids at the beginning when they start?
The beginning, I have children from 3 years old, so I teach initiation. Yeah, but the 3 years old, they do a lot. We do on the floor movements for the arms, for stretching, and then we do small steps, and we do a lot in circles, running and jumping, and then I give them improvisation. They love improvisation with different musics. And then with the age and with the level, they come twice, 3, 4. Then I had girls that came every day. And for every age, every level, I fit myself. But it's amazing to see how the little ones, they're amazing.
Do you keep those, the children that want to dance, but then don't put as much effort or they don't believe too much at becoming professional dancers? Do you keep them on? Do you...
Yes, because because my school, it's open for everyone. And I don't pretend myself to, because you have school that you teach only the students that want to be professionals. But I never went to this direction. But when I had many times, I had very talented girls and I pushed them to do dance and they came every day. But I had many girls that just come for fun or just to do once a week or twice a week. And I love it. It's great. I have even some girls that one was a bit, retardé mental or someone that had physical problems, and they all participate. I mean, everyone can do ballet. It's open for it. It was always open for everyone because I know some schools you're not fit, you're not good, you're not this, you're not that. No, it was really for everyone, open to all. But this is also very hard because sometimes girls are coming once a week and it's not enough. From a certain age, it's not enough, but you cannot force them to do more. If the children go to the Conservatoire in Geneva, when it's a school from the state of Geneva, So then they can tell them, okay, from 9 years old, you must do 4 classes a week. But I cannot do it as a private school. I cannot do it.
Okay.
So this is the difference. I'm an open school for everyone, and not like to become a professional.
Is there any lesson that you've learned that others could use for their future as a ballet dancer?
To be perseverant. How do you say
perseverance?
Yes, to trust yourself, that it's very hard to have confidence. But if you don't have support from outside, from parents, family, it's really hard. And to have confidence and to believe in yourself. But it's and just to perseverant, to persevere, and to if you want to do it, to go for it. But of course, sometimes it's not working, and this is the hardest. And it's a lesson for life, because you have the discipline to be on time, to be in a group also. Even if as a dancer you work on yourself, it's very individual, but you dance in a group, and then you dance in a performance beside you of a solo, you dance with others, so you have to respect the others, not to be late, and to be there, and to and this I had to teach a lot the girls not to be late, to respect the friend. It's a lot of lesson for life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Respect and acceptance, and also to respect. And I see in the more than 20 years that I teach, I see it, and it's a bit sad, because the other generation, the young, sometimes they don't respect, they come late, or sometimes, okay, today I'm a bit not well, so I don't come. I tell them, no, unless you're really sick, you just come, you continue the rhythm, you come. It's very important. Not to give up so easy. I'm a bit my back I have ache in my pain, but pain in my back, but it's not, of course I cannot tell them to suffer, but sometimes they let go too fast, and also to explain the parents, sometimes you have to be, or if you decided to do ballet 1 year, you finish the year, and then you do something else, but you don't stop whenever you like to stop. So it's really discipline for many other things.
That's good.
And a lot of respect, yes.
They will find it also in the other part of their lives.
Of course, you cannot change, like today I do this, and when you become a professional or whatever profession you do, you cannot do it. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Even if you are young, you take a decision, you go for it, at least you respect. Like there was a performance, and the girl didn't want to do the performance, and she was dancing with their partner. I said, listen, you must dance, because your partner, what will she do without you? So it's like to take your responsibility. It's not that I don't feel like. It's a bit like this.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Pnina.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
It was very entertaining and very interesting to learn about your profession.
Yeah, thank you.
All the best. Do you have an interesting job you would like to share with us? Then contact me at jobtalespodcast@gmail.com.